I was waiting on when the Chiefs were going to become unlikable, and I think we're at that point.
You're at that point?
Not for me.
At that point?
Not for me. I got no issue with it.
They're just who they are, man.
And here's the thing. The Patriots went through this. Every dynasty goes through the turn where it's feel good, it's new, it's fresh, and then all of a sudden the accusations start. They get every call, they get the benefit of the doubt. And so now, following another great matchup between Cincinnati and Kansas City, people are complaining about defensive pass interference being called. They're complaining about the Chiefs getting all the calls. It was clearly a pass interference.
Clearly.
Kansas City's the best team in the league, yet
Clearly.
We are now at the point to where I think people are getting fed up with it and are now bitching and moaning constantly about the Chiefs getting calls.
I think there's a lot of missed calls in all the games. I mean, I was starting to write down notes on effed up calls, and it was so many I just stopped. I was like, I don't even, because I'm going to reference and refer to so many.
Because there'd just be too much work in writing it all down.
Yeah, I mean, you could be an a-hole about it, but if they were being honest about it, I just didn't feel like doing it. I mean, I was looking at it. We could start off Monday with peeing out flakes, you know?
You realize the monumental task it would have been to write down all the holding calls that they missed.
Yeah, especially with everything I got going on.
You should have called me before you even started that task. I would have said, don't do it. It's going to take too long.
Yeah, whatever, Q. You came in hot today. You know what? Fine, screw you. Hey, but listen, though. There were a lot of bad calls. There have been bad calls. There were bad calls at college. There were bad calls. There was a lot of bad calls this weekend. Like, I was looking at it, and I felt like there were some. Like, what was the game? The USC game, the Southern Carolina game. Bad calls. Or gets.
Yeah.
You pushed the goddamn quarterback on his shoulder. How is that? That was the one most egregious thing to me that I've been looking at is how the quarterbacks are treated. It's like anything and everything. If it's in any type of question, throw the flag. I don't understand how is that what was it? Too much. It was too much roughness or something like that on the quarterback. What was it? What was it? Because I'm confused. Anyway, I just saw a lot of sure, Kansas City they're just better. Like, okay, there's a lot. They get calls. Okay, I get it. Calls go their way. All right. The Chiefs are better. The Chiefs are just they're that team.
It's New England all over again. They're going to win close games. That's it.
I don't know if there's New England, but they're good.
Here's the thing I'll say of why it's not New England. Is because they don't act like New England. They don't play like New England. New England in particular, Brady's first 3 years, it was much more of a we're going to win tight games and we're going to get by on a field goal. That was kind of the first 3 Super Bowls. It was like, oh, he's going to drive down. We're going to have a kick for a field goal. Now, yes, that's how they won this past week, but it feels like it's more Mahomes. It feels like it's more big plays. It feels like it more comes down to a drive, something else. And I would say that their defense last year, you might have say it was comparable to what the Patriots had early on for that reign, but not what their first couple Super Bowls were. I mean, the Chiefs' defense is getting there. It wasn't as dominant as the Patriots was, but there's similarities in the case that if you stay the hero long enough, you turn into the villain.
Yep.
And that's where we're at, right? Not to pull a line from Batman, but that's ultimately where we're at, is they are turning into the villain, and you could chalk it up to a number of reasons. It always starts off with the greatness and the haters, because there's going to be haters when you're that good, all right? Just haters hating. But then it transitions to even like all the commercials, the jealousy that comes with that. Oh, they get all the calls. Is there some validity to that? Yes.
I leave that out.
Well, Taylor Swift, that maybe plays part of it.
The girl, yeah.
But think about this. No one's gotten more pass interference calls since 2018, all right, on plays that would have otherwise been incomplete or not counted than Patrick Mahomes. I think he's had it's 18, 16, something like that since 2018. No one's had more. Now, that's not a ton, right? You're talking about a 6 season span, okay? And you think about how many games that is, and then how many plays that is. And you're saying, all right, it's 16, 18, whatever, however many times it's been. Okay, he's got the most. Well, maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe the reality is they're the team that defenses are trying their best to stop in those final moments, and they get desperate and they make a poor decision, and it's pass interference. This was like classic pass interference, the definition of it on that particular play.
Yeah.
I actually thought the hands to the face call that before that, when they converted on 4th and 6, then they brought it back for the illegal hands to the face. I thought that was more of a kind of a, I don't know. It seemed more incidental. It wasn't as big of an impact even onto the play as it seemed to be. So then you back them up to 4th and 16. Now you're complaining about that? I don't know. Again, you might think they get a lot of calls. The reality is they're just that good.
Yeah. And Pat didn't even play. Patrick didn't even play that well. They didn't even play that well.
I could watch.
It was the defense in a lot of ways that was the reason why they won that game.
I could watch those two teams play every single day. I don't know why they match up so well.
They thump now,
and they don't like each other.
Thumping. Yes, they do. They get after it, and listen, they know Spags knows how to get to him. I mean, they pressure him. They make him uncomfortable, and they contain. Like you're not going to stop the Chiefs' offense. You're not going to totally stop them. You have to contain them. It's like contain it. And they do a really, really fine job of doing it. I mean, we watched a masterful job by Flores yesterday defensively. I would have never thought that would have took place. You slow down a Shanahan offense, but you know what? There's just a certain group of guys that know how to defensively scheme in a way where it's fun to watch. Watching Cincinnati play against the Chiefs and how they're able to have so much success. I mean, I find it to be pretty. It's, as a defender, I know as some people may not like it, but
I mean, listen.
I like seeing defensive games, and that's generally a defensive game when you see those two.
I mean,
play.
the pass interference penalty. First of all, it was the right call. Secondly, Joe Burrow's fumble is what changed the game. Like, it felt like Cincinnati had an opportunity to really take advantage. They were up, they had the ball, they were starting to find something, and then he fumbles. There's a scoop score, and still they had an opportunity to win that game late, but. I look at it and I go, if you're Cincinnati, you come away from that game going, you feel better about your performance because you didn't look as bad as you did in week 1, but there were opportunities for them to win that game.
Imagine if you're Tennessee. I mean, same difference.
I don't want to.
Mistakes, man. I saw a lot of mistakes. You know what I saw? I saw teams that didn't make mistakes, like critical mistakes, and I saw teams that made critical mistakes, and those are the differences. I mean, Patrick had 2 interceptions in the game. How many did Caleb Williams have? People were like eating his lunch, including you, Jonas.
200.
How many interceptions did he throw? Like 3?
2 should have been 3.
Yeah.
He threw 2. So he threw the same amount pretty much as Patrick Mahomes, and people are like nailing him to the cross today, man. It's like The kid had some bad moments. Like, he had some I'm just going to throw the ball up moments. So did Patrick Mahomes. I'm just throw the ball up moments. Difference is Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. So, it's going to be judged and looked at differently. But I'm just saying.
I feel like it's more calculated by Mahomes.
Well,
that when he throws it up, guys come down with the ball or they get like a pass interference. Other guys do it. It's like, oh.
Do you credit?
Why'd you do that?